Welcome to the Azure Guide video, where hands-on learning is priority one. I'm an Azure Administrator, an Azure Security Engineer, Azure Solutions Architect, as well as a Certified Kubernetes Application Developer. Welcome to my CKA series. Each series will cover a core topic of the CKA exam. This series will cover creating a Kubernetes cluster. Each topic will be a separate video. You install Vim, Git, and Bash completion on all the nodes. Then you will clone the SpeedRacer 55 CCAD files, which is my GitHub repository. Then you will run the install container script and the setup container script on all the nodes as well. You'll also want to make sure on the control node setup, the swap file should be disabled. That should be on all the nodes. Firewall should be disabled, and configure the etc host file on the control node. Alright, now that we have our three nodes, we need to install some software. First thing we want to install is Git. It's going to allow us to download some more files from our GitHub. Then we want to run install Vim. And we want to do this on all the nodes. And we're going to also install Bash completion. Alright, I was done on master. Let's go to worker 1. I'm going to just get the first command here. Control C. Paste. Now excuse me, I'm showing all the nodes. I'm going pretty slow, just because if you don't get this, you're gonna not be able to do just about every video in the series. So I'd rather let you speed up the video, and then me not have something not very well laid out. So if this is all easy to you, just feel free to speed up the video. But my goal here is not to miss a single step. So at the end of this, you will have a 3-node working cluster. And Bash completion. Alright, so just do this on, again, one more time. Control C, go into worker 2, just hit and paste. Install our editor. Yeah, if you're not familiar with what Git is, it's going to allow us to clone our GitHub depot. I got some scripts on there to help prepare the cluster. And then Vim is an editor, so we can edit files. And then bash completion is like autocomplete that you might be familiar with Word, where it helps you complete the Kubernetes commands. So bash completion. All right, and of course, if you have a 3-node cluster, you would want to do it on all the nodes. But I just have the 3, so I'm finished with that. All right. All right, the next step is go back to master. I'm going to clear my screen, and I'm going to clone my GitHub depot. Yes, CKA files not a typo. It's just easier. Actually, before we do that, no, this should be good. All right, so if you go to CKA files now, you should have some files. So pretty good there. Then we want to go to worker 1. Clear the screen. Actually, let's go back to here. Let's go ahead and get this command. And let's go to worker 2. All right, excellent. Next, we need to do an ls again. I'm going to paste in a command here. And we need to make these 2 files, kubetools.sh and install container sh executable. So I'm going to type in install, hit the tab, and then backspace, kubetools.sh. Now if I do an ls, they should be green. So good there. Go to worker 1, CKA files, do an ls again, paste my command, install, kubetools. Do this one more time on worker 2. And kubetools, ls, and there. So the goal is to get these 2 files to be executable because we'll be running them quite shortly. Okay, we're almost ready to run those 2 script files. But before we do that, we want to make sure that our swap file is disabled because Kubernetes does not like a swap file. So to do that, we're going to type in freem, and you can see I have a swap file. So get rid of that, sudo swap off -a. There we go. The other thing is to check our host file and make some entries in there. And I'm going to get out of that. I'm going to put sudo in front of this. If you're not familiar with Vim, I just hit Control I, insert mode. But if you're not familiar with Vim, you need to for the exam. So most of these videos will assume you know basic Vim. Alright, so I want to put 192.168.1.154, and that's master. 192.168.1.157. That's worker 1. I'll put worker 1 example.com, and 192.168.1.158 is my worker 2 example.com. Alright. Ideally, you should put that on all the nodes, but I'm just going to put it on master. So now if I ping worker 1, that works out well. Okay, I can now ping by name from master. If we come to a part where we have to get to their node, we'll add it to the etc host file there. Alright, now, next, we need to go to worker 1. Well, I'm still on master. I believe if we go to sudo vim /etc/fs tab, I'm going to attempt to disable the swap file for good and remove the following line. Swing. So I'm going to think I can remove guess I can remove this line here. There we go. So we need to do that on worker 1. That is sudo swap off -a, and then vim /etcfs tab. I probably need to be in here as sudo Let me get out of there. And sudo I come down. Save it. And then worker 2. Taking a long time. Alright, so then let's go to vim sudo vim -etcfs tab. All right. So now I think we're all ready to run the script. All right, now we're ready to run our commands. We're going to do sudo period dot install. This installs the container runtime. It used to be Docker, but I believe it's now container D is what I'm installing. Yep, there it is. We're running container D for our Docker for our container runtime. And then we're going to run sudo I'm going to do an ls. I don't remember the name of the scripts. kubetools. And I'm going to do this on all the nodes again. Be interesting if it finished on your machine already. Again, this is I think I mentioned it in part 1. The machine I'm using is like 8 years old. All right, so there we go. Let's go to worker 1 and we'll do the same thing. ls and sudo install container. All right, now we can run kubetools. Yeah, it seems to be taking longer running kubetools on this machine than the last one, but maybe it's just me. And remember, everything we're done up to date so far is not in the CKA curriculum. This is all stuff that needs to be done before we can actually demo what is in the CKA curriculum. So that's another reason why using scripts is not a big deal, because it's outside the scope of the exam. All right, so now I'm going to go to worker 2, clear the screen, do an ls, and then sudo, and then install. Now on worker 2, I'm going to pause the video in between running the 2 scripts. All right, it finished there. So now it's time to run the cube tools. Again, I'm going to pause it. Okay, so that puts all the scripts running. Next, I believe, would be to run, or our next step is actually, I do believe, running the necessary steps that covers the CK curriculum. So that means running kubectl admin init. Very exciting. Okay, so now we are ready to run kube admin init. 2 things to point out here. This only runs on the master, and this is part of the CK curriculum. So here we go. Oh, looks like I got an error here. I will fix that in my VM host configuration. So I am in my VM host configuration. You can see it's grayed out. So I'm guessing I need to shut it down. So I will be back. Interesting that it actually checks. So, all right, I'll pause. All right, the VM is off. I'm going to go here, settings, processor 2. Say OK. I guess start. Yes, I'll close that. See if it's back up yet. I'm connected again. Okay, I'm back. Now I got 2 processors. Let's try this again. This does run for a while. pretty exciting stuff here. I'm just gonna let the video roll because I think it's important for you to know just about how long it takes, especially if this is the first time you're doing it. I'm going to. This normally takes about 8 to 10 minutes if I remember correctly, and this is probably a slower machine than I've ever done this on. So I'm gonna walk away, come back here and check on it. About 10 minutes. It's a little chilly today in Kentucky. It sucks. See, let me look at my phone. It is 28 degrees. I think I'm gonna go for a walk though. I have one of those heated jackets, so gonna prepare for my get ready for my walk, and then check on this again. All right, a couple things to see here. Excuse me. We'll need to follow these steps, as well as take this join command, and you want to copy that because you're going to need that. Okay, I'll make this all one. All right, now the beauty of this screen is, one, you get some confirmation that what you just did was successful. Then it's going to give you 3 other items you need to complete, and then the correct order. So next is we need to paste these in our master. Then, as it says, you should deploy a pod network to the cluster, which we'll do. And then you run this. Then on the worker nodes, you run this command. So just like the init, only run on the master. The next 2, this item's only done in the master. And this is only done in the master, pod network. And this is only done on the worker nodes. So let's go ahead here. We'll just do a highlight, copy, and then a paste. And I'm really surprised when I do this copy, it doesn't paste it down there. So then paste. And then one more time. Okay, now we need to run a network. And the best way to do that is to get the command out of Kubernetes documentation. I was looking at some, looks like some playoff stuff. So let's close that. Close that, and come here. Got it. And we'll go to Kubernetes. And their documentation. Alright, we're going to type in kubeadm init and choose create a cluster. Then we're going to look for create a cluster with kubeadmin. We're going to look for something about high availability. Creating a high availability cluster with kubeadmin. And we're looking for the command to install. There we go. That's what we want right here. We're going to take all this, copy, go back to our master node, paste. I might need a sudo in there. Apparently not. So it looks like our network's going. Oh, one thing I did forget to do, and I should have showed you this before I ran the network command, and that is do a kubectl get all, and you should come back with what we have right here, that you got a Kubernetes cluster and IP address. Okay, looking good. We're now ready to run the last step. That's to run this join command. And I have a detailed analysis of this in my part 1. You would think building the cluster would be part 1, but no, it's part 2. My part 1 was about how to manage nodes, and I go into detail about how this command is created. But so we'll go do it here. But that is the node of the cluster and the port it's listening on. That's all I'll say about it. But we're going to take this, and this gets run on the worker nodes. So I'll go to worker 1. I'm going to clear my screen. I'm going to assume it needs sudo. Paste. Okay, let's go to worker 2. Clear the screen. And sudo. I'll paste the same commands. All right, so it says here, run kubectl get nodes on the control plane. It says now join the cluster. So come over here. Let's clear the screen. Do a kubectl get nodes. And worker 1's not ready, and worker 2's not ready yet. Could be a delay. Still not ready. A little disappointing. Let's see if the swap file is disabled. I think that's sudo free-m. Yep, it's disabled. Because I do know from previous that that's not disabled. It will show not ready. I'm not freaking out yet. Oh, there we go. Just took a while. They're both ready. So this one took 105 seconds more or less. This one was 65 seconds. But now you can see we are ready. And there you go. We now have a 3-node Kubernetes cluster.